We're good? Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this March 29th workshop meeting. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, let's move on to our superintendent's report. Dr. Yanni?
Thank you, Ms. Kowalski. Good evening, everybody. Every couple of weeks we have great news from our students, and this week was no different. Signing Day was held on March 12th for the Oyster Bay students. Signing Day is always an exciting time because it reaffirms the fact that not only we have talented athletes, but we also have amazing students in the classroom, and that's a great combination. So I'd like to congratulate Caitlin Eschheim. She's going to Albright College playing softball. Michael Gotti is going to the University of New Haven, and he's playing baseball. Justin Ingebrigtsen, Western Connecticut, and Justin is playing football. Emma Kelly is going to St. Joseph College, and she's playing basketball. Luke McNamara, he's going to Middlebury, and he's swimming. And Hector Ruiz Bonilla is going to Five Towns, and he's going to play soccer. So congratulations, so proud of them. There are so many things that I'm discovering as a superintendent of Oyster Bay every year, so many traditions, and one of them was the breakfast for our future engineers. Oyster Bay High School hosted 17 local engineers in the Oyster Bay High School Library on March 22nd. It was called the Breakfast of Engineering. Our computer science engineering students networked with professionals and engaged in the discussion about the field of engineering, including civil, mechanical, environmental, and software. And it was great to see all of them. And what was beautiful about it was the fact that the vision of empowering all students to achieve excellence was visible in that room, because we're really giving the students the tools to be successful. I want to thank Ms. Suprabha, Mary Jane, and Mr. Andrew Schlendorf for preparing and organizing our students to take advantage of this opportunity. So thank you. I hope you had an opportunity on March 24th to attend the Cavalcade of Choir. It was great to see all the students together, and they were different grades. They did such an amazing job. I'm so proud of them. So congratulations on that. This is the time where we start recognizing and inducting the students in different honor societies. So on March 22nd, we had 30 students inducted in the World Language Honor Society, which had the ACL, the French, and the Spanish, and also 14 students inducted into the Business Honor Society. We're going to continue. I know that next week we have some other inductions. So I want to congratulate the students, because it takes a lot to be part of, to be inducted in the Honor Society, and also the work that they do that goes above and behind what goes on in the classroom. So very, very proud of them. So congratulations to all of them. Every board meeting we give an update on the Board of Education goals, and this board meeting, I'm going to give an update. Dr. Pascara and Ms. Argaman are going to give an update on some of the guidance in the academic process. So I'm going to invite Dr. Pascara and Ms. Argaman to the podium.
So good evening. I am pleased to be here tonight to review some of the work that's been going on in the Oyster Bay Counseling Center. And we're going to be starting with our graduation forecast for the class of 2022. So we've been very closely monitoring all of our seniors, and we can proudly say that at this point, we anticipate having a graduation rate of 93%, which is a 5% increase from last year. Unfortunately, prior to this year, 7 students dropped out of school, but in an effort to address this, we have worked very hard as a team to put in measures that ensure that we provide targeted support to our most at-risk students. These students are being monitored extremely closely, their attendance, their grades, their effort in class. They've been offered numerous supports, including tutors and mentors, and we're hoping that putting all of these measures into place will help us to continue to rise the graduation rate in the next few years to come. So we're really proud of that so far. I know I've talked briefly before about the Oyster Bay High School Counseling Center's Common Application Bootcamp, so I'm excited to say that we will be hosting our first one this year, and our goal is to get our seniors to apply to colleges as early as possible in the application process. This June, we will be welcoming a college representative who will be doing a presentation for all juniors on the college essay. Students will then have the time to work on crafting an essay throughout the following week in class. Students will receive details at the end of June on how to sign up for our Common Application Bootcamp, which will be held at the end of August. While they're there, students will have a chance to complete all pieces of their Common Application. We'll also review their essay and provide them with the opportunity to finalize that essay with the help of, we're hoping to have some college representatives who are going to be able to join us then. I'm still working on that piece, but we think it's going to be a really great opportunity for them to really finalize and have everything completed before they come back to school in September. And this is just an example of one of those sheets that they're going to get. It's a digital worksheet which has some videos that will help them. And then our goal is in September to host another mini Common App Bootcamp for any students who weren't able to attend in August, or students who then need a little bit more help and weren't able to finish everything in time. So we're hoping to provide them that support in September and be able to make sure that our students are all ready for the early action deadlines. One other new initiative is the Counseling Center YouTube channel, and our goal here is to provide our students and their families with as many avenues as possible for them to get the pertinent information. So here you could see what our YouTube channel looks like so far. Our first video was created to help parents learn how to use the parent portal to access their children's report cards. That was the first time that parents were doing that at Vernon, and so we shared it with Vernon and Teddy Roosevelt, and all the families were given access to view it. We also did it in Spanish so that all of our families could benefit from this video. We've also posted videos on the college process and our course offering night, and we have a lot of ideas in the works for other videos that we're going to do on things such as using Naviance for the college process, letters of recommendation, how to use the Google Classroom to monitor your child's progress. So we've got a lot of videos that we're hoping to work on over the next few months. Okay, oh, that's just another picture. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hargan. One of the major focuses of the Academic Committee this year has been to look at the benchmarking and interventions we are doing district-wide to support our students. Tonight I'm going to share with you what we are doing at the elementary and middle levels, as well as with the Regents and Advanced Placement classes. So when we look at the elementary intervention plan, students that are not meeting grade level expectations based on the benchmarking data at the elementary level are supported by both classroom interventions and potential referral to building-wide instructional support teams. The classroom interventions include parent contact, a review of student attendance, extra help opportunities, a review of student attendance, methods for differentiating instruction for each individual student, and individualized independent reinforcement of skills. For those students who need further support, there is the AIS support services for the from the math and literacy specialists at both TR and at Vernon. Students recommended for support from the instructional support team. They are reviewed after 6 weeks to monitor their progress. For students that continue missing grade level expectations, a referral to summer school support is possible. For all students that are not meeting grade level expectations, There is an expectation of biweekly parent contact and the monitor and monthly benchmarking to help identify student progress. At the middle level, there are similar supports in place for both the classroom and at the building level. Here, students not meeting grade level expectations also have their attendance monitored weekly to identify any issues, and the guidance department and department supervisors are involved. When we look at the Regents level classes and the benchmarking in these classes, administrative interventions are added to ensure our students are successful in classes that terminate in state exams that may be required for graduation. The administrative interventions include a constant review of data on eSchool, as well as follow-up with the teacher and student as deemed necessary. And finally, for our advanced placement classroom interventions, it includes specific individualized independent reinforcement of skills, including AP Classroom, which College Board has been improving each year to help students prepare for their AP exams in May. The goal of benchmarking and the interventions are simple: to ensure that all students in Oyster Bay East Norwich are provided with the supports they need to be successful in the classroom. Thank you to Dr. Yanni and the entire Board of Education for their continued support. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I do. First of all, thank you so much. I don't know whether the public knows, but we have been focusing on academics and our test scores, our graduation rates, because when we look at some of the data out there, even when you look at, for example, great schools data, our ranking was not very high, and we really wanted to deep dive to see what the problems were. And the board directed Dr. Yanni and his team to really start digging into these numbers and figure out why is our graduation rate at 89%, what was going on. And they really found all the data. They have increased this graduation rate, and we are suffering a little bit from some dropouts that happened several years ago, but are still in our data. But going forward, we think this graduation rate is going to really improve a lot of our ratings. As far as AP scores and Regent scores, you know, what was happening with why were our scores a little bit lower? We know we've got extremely smart kids in this district. So Dr. Yanni and Dr. Pasquera, he's looking at, you know, how can we provide the support that these kids need? And I just want to thank you so much for doing this. Very proud of our guidance department now. I wish my kids had that type of guidance department. And I'm really happy that we're going to actually put in some benchmarking data and assessments, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kowalski. At this point, I'd like to switch the order a little bit, invite Mr. Bramoff to the podium just to recognize our winter athletes. Last week, 2 weeks ago, they had a dinner, so be more than happy to recognize them this time.
Thank you, Dr. Yanni, for the opportunity to present our winter athletes. I'm going to start off tonight with our swimmer. I don't believe he's here this evening, but we should honor Luke McNamara for swimming for the Port Washington Roslyn swim team. Luke was an all-county swimmer in 2 events. He was a state qualifier in 2 events, and he finished 16th in the state on March 5th when he swam at the New York State Public High School Athletic Association State Championships. Luke was named MVP to his swim team by his coach, and he is looking to continue swimming, as Dr. Yanni said previously, when he attends Northwestern. So, Northeastern. Middlebury, excuse me. Congratulations to Luke McNamara. All right. I'd also like to thank both Coach Cotter and Coach Weber for being here tonight. The winter season was supposed to end a few weeks ago, but today's congratulations on your match. It felt like winter out there all over again. Thank you for your attendance tonight. And right now we're going to recognize our student athletes for their achievements. This season, it was good to get back to normal winter track season, back running in the indoor venues that we're so used to. The team has a wonderful mix of talented seniors and a great core of young distance runners. The future for our winter program is very bright, and we expect fantastic achievements from our team over the next few years. Our first student athlete tonight is an all-county representative for the 4x800 meter relay, Oliver Ketchmer. Our next student athlete is a senior. He also was given all-county honors as a member of the all-county 4x800 meter team, Mr. Jonathan Cox. Our next student athlete is an 8th grader. He earned all county honors in the 3,200 meters, an outstanding accomplishment for any runner, but truly remarkable feat for an 8th grader, Mr. Zachary Green. Our next athlete was all-county Class C champion in the 3,200 meters as a sophomore. Christopher Tarduno is continuing the family tradition of distance runners of excellence at Oyster Bay High School and will be a dominating force in Section 8 for years to come. All-county athlete Christopher Tarduno. Our final athlete is a senior who is all-county in a very difficult event of the triple jump. His leadership and kindness will be greatly missed as our captain, Craig Menino. Could the coaches and the student athletes please come up and take a picture? Come on up, coach. Once again, I'd like to thank Dr. Yanni and the Board of Education. As always, let's go, Bayman.
Okay, at this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Ostroff to the podium to present on the technology update.
Thank you for welcoming me to present to you about our technology work tonight. Aligned with our district vision, our technology team aims to empower teachers and students with the opportunities and resources to succeed in a rapidly evolving society where technology is optimally used to engage, personalize, and redefine student learning. So tonight, I'm going to be sharing the instructional context of our technology work, network upgrades, systems upgrades, cybersecurity, devices, software initiatives, and work we've done regarding teaching and learning. Technology has been a constantly changing and critical resource for our community throughout our past few years of teaching and learning. In the spring of 2020, our device and instructional technology capacities enabled all district-wide classes to go virtual. Our district was in a unique position in which all of our teachers were able to pivot online, and students had device and wireless access for learning. Again, in December 2020, our incredible students, parents, and teachers then adapted, again, from remote to hybrid learning. In a fall 2020 survey of 472 district stakeholders, it was reported that students, parents, teachers, and administrators rated instructional technology as one of the 2 top most positive aspects of the district among the 12 included in the survey. In the winter of 2020-21, the district and high school building allocated clerical support so that a full-time clerical was first assigned to technology. Contractors, parents, and district employees then had a point of contact to call with questions or issues. This was especially critical to scheduling deliveries, organizing device pickups and distributions, and specifically for supporting our remote students. A little over a year ago, I then shared an update with the community on instructional technology and cybersecurity. And since then, we've been doing a lot of work. In keeping with the board goals of maximizing fiscal resources via long-term planning, our district took advantage of the Federal Communication Commission, or FCC's Category 2 funding to refresh aging switches, racks, uninterrupted power supplies as a part of a closet cleanup project. E-rate funds are earmarked for projects related to internet connectivity like cabling, closets, and internet services. We were able to use these funds to upgrade and clean Vernon and high school closets and consolidate closets in TR to minimize points of failure, decrease response time to network issues, and thereby better secure and maintain our entire network. The high school and Vernon project took place in the spring, and then at TR, we coordinated the cabling project with the summer bathroom remodeling project. And coordinating E-rate cabling upgrades with the capital projects reduces the cost for cabling because the walls are open. And so our next allotment of E-rate funds is about $260,000, and this can be applied through 2025. So this will align really well with all of the many cabling needs for our upcoming capital work. We also used E-rate to add a secondary Verizon 1 gigabyte as a failover. It was also used for load balancing, so this secondary internet connection, it functions in addition to Bowtie. So what Bowtie is, it's a contract which is combined LightPath and Crown Castle together. So that makes up our line. So really we have 3 different lines feeding into our district. Recently, the failover with the new Verizon 1 gigabyte enabled us to continue teaching and learning throughout an entire day where the Bowtie was out. They had a lot of difficulty locating and fixing the disruption, but our classes were still running. This year, we also added wireless access to the TR Stadium, the bleachers, the Vernon Cottage, and then the Vernon bleachers as well. And we upgraded wireless access points here, as well as the gymnasium in anticipation of computer-based testing and computer-based testing growing. We also upgraded systems as well. So last spring, we moved our inventory and our ticketing system over to Incident IQ. We provided training to administrators and clerical that were involved and created workflows for requests that included those who needed to approve and/or view tickets. Our district-wide inventory is now a live inventory with which we have tremendous visibility and control. Reports for auditing, device information, and data on device models and users are all very easily accessed because of Incident IQ. Another large upgrade was using LightPath and Altice services via the Federal Emergency Connectivity Funds. So the federal funds were used, it's an extension of the FCC. And so they provided this as pandemic relief. And this was instead of the T-Mobile wireless access points that we had been using. So For 4 years, we've been using these physical access points, and they were prone to user issues and loss and damage. So we find that this ability to service our students without internet and this ability to get them that wireless connectivity is preferred, and it's also beneficial economically. This year, we also purchased Goverlin, and what that allows us to do is give seamless remote support and remote software installation for our users. So if you're using a mobile device, it's really improved our ability to access them. Finally, we replaced Fortinet with LineWise for web filtering. It's very versatile with different operating systems like our iPads at Roosevelt, which operate on iOS, so LineWise replaced the Fortinet that we had before. In terms of cybersecurity, we upgraded to Microsoft A5 and implemented advanced threat protection. Microsoft Defender, it provides antivirus protection, competitive. A lot of businesses use CrowdStrike and like to make the comparison with Microsoft Defender. We also added Intune. That's another service through Microsoft A5, and that enables remote device management and updates, so we more safely support mobile devices using applications and patches that we can push out. And finally, we have advanced threat analytics, which provide alerts related to impossible travel, irregular activity, large files, data sharing. So these are things that might flag an alert that gets sent to us. So our teams have, over the past year, adjusted the ranges to trigger alerts so that we can kind of block out the noise and see real threats. And so we monitor those analytics and thereby are using this advanced threat protection. This year, we also migrated all of our files to the cloud for rapid access and recovery. So this gives us the ability to restore files quickly, and so it significantly reduces the potential of harm if there were a cyber attack. To secure business office and central office administrator accounts, we are also piloting multi-factor authentication, and we're recommending that the district consider expanding its use because this is effective in really securing more of our higher level business office accounts. Windows Firewall provides internet protocol security, so it limits, data going into and out of devices. And we're now setting up OneSync, and this furthers our cybersecurity compliance with EdLaw 2D. So OneSync automates account creation and deletion via a sole source of student information, which is eSchool, and faculty and staff information, which is InVision. So we're going to be replacing human protocols and workflows, which can be prone to mistakes or delays using OneSync. In terms of devices, the district community, the Board of Education, and the district administration have enabled us to purchase replacements and really proactively refresh and have this continuous refresh cycle. The Technology Capital Fund project proposed to the community this spring will enable us to provide updated mobile devices, instructional desktops, and interactive boards to better support instruction. To support the Board of Education goals, our team was able to do a lot of work with software as well. So in line with the Board of Education goals, we rostered Naviance accounts so that students can retain accounts throughout their time at Vernon and the high school. We also set up Albert IOS and training to provide more resources to our AP teachers. And then we set up Renaissance, and the software Renaissance enables us to benchmark students in both ELA and math. And then in coordination with the business office, we've done a lot of work. The business office has done a lot of work. Non-instructional staff were all provided with intranet email addresses to access new absent management software and Optigate. And our team was able to set up Optigate, which makes accessing payroll records easy, and it efficiently reduces human and physical resources required to print checks. Our team is now working with food services, with Mr. Nyberg, and the business office to transition to a cloud-based system called Mosaic with updated point-of-service devices for school lunch. In terms of teaching and learning, the past 3 years have shown the immense capacity of our teachers to flexibly adapt their use of technology to meet changing student needs. Integral to our work is the Technology Advisory Committee. As I presented last year, we are entering a new phase of our work and transitioning from designing professional development around technology or devices and software to leveraging an array of technologies to best empower students for excellence. So we have 3 working groups in the Technology Advisory Committee. One is devoted to professional development. One is creating resources with which to orient and guide staff through the many instructional tools that we have available. And finally, we have an innovation grant committee that evaluates our innovation grant proposals. Cybersecurity, as you know, and cybersecurity awareness and safe practices is of growing concern to all, including our students. So starting in kindergarten, our students begin to learn the importance of cybersecurity. Students in our district learn how to log into devices and use private passwords. Students learn to encode and decode words and messages so that they understand the importance of cybersecurity. They assess when it's okay to open or click links and when it's not, and when they should be notifying a trusted adult. Older students increase the complexity of their passwords. Students create avatars to review why and when it's appropriate to share pictures and not share pictures of themselves. Students learn how to use email and when and what not to open and what not to share, and how to identify suspicious messages and when to report them. Students discuss website ads and what happens when you click them, and why websites may want student personal information and why you shouldn't give that information necessarily when you're signing up for accounts, and not to share personal information online. And as I presented in my last presentation for science, in terms of computer science standards, cybersecurity is constantly changing and our district curricula is constantly adapting. So we're going to continue to adapt our cybersecurity curriculum as well. Vernon and Oyster Bay High School are working hard to support computer-based testing. So there was computer-based testing today, and in terms of technology, it went rather smoothly, and they've been working very hard to prepare the students. And in certain ways, the online tools are helpful, and in terms of there are some benefits to reading and writing, editing, highlighting, and enlarging text. And then there are some obstacles that students have been struggling with the new format of testing, but we've really done a great deal to prepare our students for that. And finally, we're really excited about 3 teacher-based innovation projects proposed this year. First, we will be purchasing software to support and share a set of virtual reality devices throughout the district. A media arts project was proposed to purchase equipment to vlog and edit videos and really get ready for our recording studio and do some of that exciting work in the context of art. And then there was a proposal to teach units of ELA through video games that the Technology Advisory Committee noted would engage, personalize, and redefine student learning. So we have a lot of next steps. There are a bunch of companies that I've met with and received quotes from to provide external audit and support for moving forward with higher degrees of NIST compliance. NIST stands for the National Institute of Standards and Technology and is defined as EdLaw 2D as like the approach of being as secure as possible. So we're trying to approach NIST compliance is where we're at. So having that sort of external assessment would be very helpful in nearing that effectively. One step towards this is our planned transition of Active Directory to Azure as we move towards the cloud. And another is the expansion of our multi-factor authentication pilot. Finally, adding Microsoft Sentinel would automate some of the work that we're doing, that our technicians are doing to review analytics and threats. And it just provides this AI to what we're currently doing, again, using humans. And finally, instructionally, we have growing use and interest of Canvas at Oyster Bay High School, so we anticipate that Canvas will continually grow and expand. And as the landscape of technology is changing, we look forward to updating our digital citizenship and cybersecurity curricula accordingly. And looking ahead, the Technology Advisory Committee hopes to really focus professional development around instructional topics about student choice, student voice, student publications, student peer editing, student self-editing, and moving away from this model of professional development that's device or software-based. Visitation restrictions are being waived, so we're now excited about being able to visit other schools and increase our learning opportunities and exchanges to physically go in to other schools and see what they're doing as we have in the past. And all of our work really has been and is focused on student empowerment to achieve excellence. Thank you. Thank you to the administrators and teachers for embracing change and excitedly looking at any and every way to support and engage students using technology. Thanks to our Technology Advisory Committee volunteers and the technology teachers, Regina DeOrio, Keith Harrison, Suprabha Malhar. They're really informing our ongoing decision-making and contributing to our community's learning. And thank you to our dream team of technicians, Brian Rosato, happy birthday, Brian Draker, and Jalen Perkins, and our systems administrator, Jane Pagano, for their constant learning and service to the school and community. And thank you for allowing me to present tonight, and thank you to the community and Board of Education for ongoing support for instructional technology.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions? No? Thank you very much. Okay. When you're finished, Dr. Yanni? Okay. Okay, let's move on to the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as listed? Second? Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. This is the opportunity for the public to be heard, but I understand we don't have anyone who signed in. So let's move on to approval of instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. Goes up to 7. You can see the following few pages. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Non-instructional personnel items. Approval of so resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the non-instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion? Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of special services resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the special services resolutions as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of new business resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the new business resolutions as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, public participation in non-agenda items? Nope, no one signed in? Okay. So now I guess we can adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second? Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.